Good morning, every one of you.
Morning. Good morning.
So the plan that we have for today and tomorrow, the first part of the morning session, I like to dedicate on following a practice, which each one of us can take that as a part of our daily practice, which we have been doing for all our study retreats and meditation retreats. What we are going to do today, maybe a little over 1 hour practice. Just keep note the points which I am going to share with you. Keep note of them, and the same thing which we're going to do in 1 hour or a little over 1 hour, because that it involves a little bit of explanation, introduction, and so forth. If you are to do that by yourself with a little bit of familiarization, we see that you can do that within 45 to 1 hour fully. 45 to 1 hour fully. Whereas, should you have constraint of time, should you feel constraint of time, then we can congest that, we can make it even more concise, even more abridged to like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 15 minutes. And then finally, if you really struggle to get time, if you don't have time, then I would suggest that even 7 minutes should be good. And then if you are really pressed with time, then 5 minutes, no compromise beyond that. Okay, this I'm very serious. Even 5 minutes you do a daily, rather than becoming so enthusiastic at one point and then giving up altogether. It's just total waste of your energy, and then it's pathetic. It's very sad. So instead, rather than trying to be so enthusiastic in the beginning, if you could dedicate, like, say, initially, if you think that you are very enthusiastic, you can spend like 30 minutes to 1 hour, not really more, unless you are already into this part for the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Whereas, should you are really pressed with time, then 10 to 30 minutes. And then, if there's no choice, you have to get up and then simply rush to your job, in which case 5 minutes. Okay, this is what I like to, and there is a way by which we can do that. If possible, in the end of our whole 1 week session or whole 1 week program, what I'm thinking of doing is severalfold. One is how to design one's personal meditation on emptiness. How to design personal meditation on emptiness, one. Then another one is more precisely how to meditate on the emptiness of the mind. Another set. And still another one is how to build or how to cultivate the meditation or the Mahamudra meditation, focus on the mind. How to do that. So all these important points will be raised, and yesterday I said it very clearly that I'm not too sure as to when I might include some very important points. So if possible, just try to make the most out of our being together this week. Should you have, of course, your job, your work, and these things, then that is very different. But still, we will be left with the recordings, and you can listen to the recordings. On that basis, you'll get some idea. Okay, so this is what we're going to do now. Without much further ado, Let's turn to, okay, this is one tricky part. Let us make it very standard. Say, there are several handouts, right? And every time we have to waste 1 minute to say that this handout, that handout, and so forth. So let's make it very standard. I was actually looking for that. Let's start from the scratch. 1, preliminary prayers. This is number 1. Then the Heart Sutra, number 2. Then the 8 verses of mind training, number 3. 8 verses of mind training, number 3. Then the 3 principles, number 4. And in praise of dependent origination, number 5. Number 5. Then the Mahayana Sutra called the Exalted Wisdom. Mahayana Sutra called the Exalted Wisdom, number 6. And then finally, dedication prayers, number 7. And those of you who have no clue of emptiness, those of you who have no clue of bodhicitta, which means you have not learned, you have not heard about bodhicitta, which you have not learned about bodhicitta, I don't think there should be many of you. Should there be 1 or 2, just bear with us for the next, say today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow, because we're going to do this practice meant for all of us to know how to practice, how to have something to take home every day. So in short, that is what we are doing. And then should you have no understanding of emptiness or no clue of emptiness and bodhicitta, then this may seem to be a little ritualistic. Don't worry about that. In the course of our teaching, then we will get a greater understanding of what emptiness is, what bodhicitta is. Then on that basis, you will see that the practice which we are doing this morning and tomorrow morning is of tremendous value. Okay, with that in mind, handout number 1, preliminary prayers. So every time you do some practice, yesterday I mentioned 3 points. Okay, so with that in mind, let's proceed through this practice. So let me reiterate the 3 points. The first one is refuge field, wholeheartedly visualize all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the manner in which you are to visualize. Don't forget that. Then point number 2, visualize the bodhicitta field, your 2 kind parents and all your family members and all dear mother sentient beings around you. And the manner in which you are to visualize them. You like the mother, and they're just heavily dependent on you, being so vulnerable, coming crying, and then you are reassuring them with so much love, care, attention, and so forth. And the purpose of this practice is finally to disclose this hidden treasure within you. By eliminating what obscures this hidden treasure, the Buddha nature, the self, the afflictive obscurations, which boils down to self-grasping ignorance, and the cognitive obscuration, which boils down to self-centered attitude. And how to eliminate them is by resorting to the true remedies. Wisdom of emptiness to overcome the afflictive obscurations, and the bodhicitta to overcome the self-centered attitude or the cognitive obscuration. Okay, with that in mind, let's turn to handout number 1, preliminary prayers. And imagine that you are leading this prayer. Imagine that you are leading this prayer, and all sentient beings, you are taking them along with you towards Buddhahood. Okay. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. So just this stanza is from Aranagarjuna's Mula Madhyamika Karika. And from there we see what we already said earlier. The final dharma is the dharma of the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. So if you read this stanza, enthused by great compassion, that is talking, Aranagarjuna has been pointing to the bodhicitta, Bodhicitta, which is grounded on great compassion. And then, what is the other side of the Dharma practice? The wisdom of emptiness. So the second line says, you taught the immaculate Dharma. Immaculate Dharma here referring to the wisdom of emptiness. Right? So the wisdom of emptiness is what you taught to the sentient beings with the spirit of compassion, with the spirit of bodhicitta. Motivated by bodhicitta, then you taught this wisdom to eliminate the darkness of ignorance from the minds of all sentient beings, and then take them to Buddhahood. Okay, so this stanza itself from Aranyagārjuna, this is not, people like me created. This is by Aranyagārjuna. Very standard, revered as the second Buddha. So from there, we will come to know what exactly is the real Dharma. It does not say that we have to perform rituals, we have to perform fire puja, so forth, so that you will be liberated. Nothing is said there. It just says, enthused by great compassion. Meaning, Buddha, you are motivated by great compassion. So this is what we have to emulate. One. Then you taught the immaculate Dharma of the wisdom of emptiness. So finally, what you really taught is not the rituals, it's the wisdom of emptiness. So these two form the crux, the essence of the Dharma. So that way, we are very fortunate, we all are very fortunate to have His Holiness the Dalai Lama still on this earth today with us. We see that he always, had it been the case that he being the final authority in Buddhism, had it been the case that he is so much into rituals, then we will 100%, even if, hundreds of people come to tell you that this is Aranyagārjuna's teaching, which does not emphasize on rituals, you will say that you are wrong. Aranyagārjuna is wrong, because our final authority says that ritual is the most important. But we are very fortunate to have His Holiness the Dalai Lama, whose approach of the Dharma tallies with that of the Aranyagārjuna. He really embodies what Aranyagārjuna's teachings are. Okay. And then the remaining stanzas which we are reading make it a point that, so by 16th, all the lines which we are reading, you must make it a point that you know the meanings. Right? This is so important. Without knowing the meanings, reciting, it makes no sense. So, day 1, day 2, you are exempted. It's fine, right? Even if you don't know the meaning as much, you are exempted. By the turn of the 14th, 15th, and 16th, you must know all these meanings, right? So therefore, I'm not responsible. You are responsible if you don't know the meaning. So therefore, it is your responsibility to ask me questions on any of these prayers which we are going to say, and which you need clarification. You need to have a gut to ask me, right, before I leave. Okay, so we continue reading, and all these stanzas which we are reading, they are so precious, extremely precious. They are just picked up from the essence, as the essence of the essences, right? Okay, independent origination. There is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going. No separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the Consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mother of the Buddhas and of the hearers and Bodhisattvas, who through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world. Okay, let's read them together. Let's read them together. And through possession of omniscience, the subduer set forth the varieties having all aspects. Okay, turn to page 7. The Refuge and Geshe Dorji Bodhicitta. Sangye choda tsoge chonam la chanjo pardo dane gyapso che dage jinso kebe chonam ke dola penjir sangye drubarai sho. Sangye choda soge chonam la chanjo pardo dane gyapso che dage jinso kebe chonam ke dola penjir sangye drubarai sho. Sangye choda soge chonam la chanjo pardo dane gyapso che dage jinso kebe chonam ke dola penjir sangye drubarai sho. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, now let's sing this mantra, page 6. Om Ye Dharma mantra. This mantra is so important. So before we sing this mantra with tune, we will read the meaning of the mantra first. The meaning of the mantra, as can be seen, all phenomena arise from causes, meaning all phenomena of miseries. All phenomena of miseries, they arise from their causes. And from what we have learned from yesterday and today, the causes are finally what? Causes of all our miseries. Should you have any misery, say your neighbor throws the garbage next to your door and you feel irritated. Irritation is a misery, right? Don't blame the neighbor. Irritation is happening inside. It's not coming from outside to inside. It's from inside. Of course, you have to teach the neighbor, or you have to inform the neighbor what is going wrong. But then the real change has to be from within, right? And this we will learn over the next few days, how that is so. Okay, any discomfort coming to you, any discomfort, say the heat, external heat, and then you feel a little discomfort, this is the problem. So anytime there's a problem, there's something wrong inside. So that the cause is inside. And the cause is primarily what? Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And it will become so clear to us. It will become so clear to us over the period of time through your consistent practice. First of all, through your understanding of what emptiness is. Then through your cultivation of compassion towards others. You see that if I am freed of these two, if I'm freed of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, no matter what external conditions I may encounter with, I will have no misery. I will have no mental disturbance. Keep that in mind, right? And this is what will happen. Closer your discernment turns towards that direction, your dharma is becoming more refined, right? And you are in dharma, you are in Chokrasamling for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and then you become older. Then slowly, you become more and more vulnerable to external conditions. Even a small, tiny external factors could easily irritate you, which means that you are running away and away and away from dharma. In the practice is coming closer and closer towards Chokrasamling. So what I'm saying here is that finally the proof of our being closer towards the dharma is that finally you should be a happy person. For happiness, we have to embrace dharma, not to torment ourselves, not to let ourselves inflict pain on ourselves, to make us a happier person. If your happiness is growing because of encountering with dharma, this is an indication that your dharma is having an effect on you. Whereas you become more and more vulnerable to external conditions, you become less and less happy person, then something is wrong. Something is wrong. Okay, so with that in mind, we see that it says all phenomena arise from causes. All phenomena of misery which I'm going through, the causes, they are twofold, external and internal is the main. Say, okay, you see me, what am I doing? I'm clapping. So to have the sound of the clap, there must be the two hands coming together. There must be the two hands coming together to have the sound of the clap. However strong your right hand is, without the left hand, there's no sound. So the sound of the clap is analogous to the miseries that we are going through, and the two hands are analogous to the external condition and the internal condition. It is only through the combination of the external condition and the internal condition that your miseries come into being. So, if you could pull out, if you could remove one of the factors, conditions, then the sound of the clap stops. If you remove one of the hands, then the sound of the clap stops. So even though the external conditions are there, if you could remove the internal condition, then no matter how severe the external conditions are, it cannot affect your mind. So when your mind is not affected, your peace of mind is not stirred. When your peace of mind is not stirred, no matter what external conditions you encounter with, this is the meaning of the freedom. Freedom from the external conditions. You're no more vulnerable. Vulnerability is when you are heavily determined by the plight. Your plight is determined by the external conditions. Now that you become independent, you become so stable to be independent of the external conditions. Because of what? Because you have already pulled the internal condition. By pulling out the internal condition, misery does not arise. One of the hands is missing. Misery does not arise. When the misery does not arise, then the external condition does not have any role to create problem on you. External conditions are there. It doesn't mean that when you have a very clear understanding of emptiness, when you have a very vivid experience or very intense experience of bodhicitta, then all your external problems will disappear. No, that's not true. External problems, external conditions, factors are there, but your mind, the peace of mind will not be stirred. What for these external conditions are described as conditions for disturbance? Because they disturb your mind. If they do not disturb your mind, they are no more the external conditions to disturb your mind. So you are freed from the external conditions. So once you are freed from the external conditions, you're already freed from the internal conditions. So the misery stops automatically. You could be in the midst of, say, Bangalore traffic, right? How many of you feel so irritated when the traffic is so heavy? Okay, how many of you get irritated? How many of you are so excited when the traffic is heavy? Right? Very likely not. Oh, excited?
Agitation.
Agitated, right? Okay, so let's see. If the internal condition is changed, then amidst the Bangalore traffic, particularly when the traffic is so heavy, there's a traffic jam there, you can turn the same scenario into a very joyous moment. Right? How? You may be wondering how. Imagine you are in a very strange place, and the place is so vast, and there's no one really traveling there, and you are so vulnerable. There could be burglars here and there, right? And then you are by yourself there. What will you crave for? You will crave for companies. You all right? You get my point? You will crave to have some company with you. Okay. So the fact that you are in the traffic jam, there's no danger that, burglars will drag you, right? You're protected from that. Because of this, all people are there. So what I'm saying is that if you really could feel that, all situations which otherwise could trigger irritation in you can be transformed into a joyous, very joyous moment. How many of you prefer to have some holidays? Every one of us, right? Okay, holidays meaning no job, okay, no visitors, I'll be by myself, looking for privacy, right? Looking for privacy. Okay, look, this is human thinking. If you're by yourself, and then you are just 24 hours by yourself, then you feel so lonely. I'm so lonely. There's no friend coming to me, right? And then when you are amid so many people, you will say that I seek privacy, I don't have privacy, right? So instead of that, when you're amidst so number of people, you should be feeling that I'm not lonely. I have so many companies with me. And whereas when you are alone, rather than thinking that I'm feeling lonely, you should think that this is my privacy, right? So how we think, our thinking is internal, it is not external. So internal thinking can change the world, change the quality of your life, right? Okay, so that way, what the Buddha is saying here, this mantra is in fact said by the Buddha himself. So this mantra, later on, initially the Buddha said, and then later on commented or modified a little bit by the later the saints. All phenomena arise from causes. All miseries that we go through, the causes, they are not randomly, they don't happen randomly. They all happen by dependence on causes. And what these causes are, now that we have already learned from yesterday and today, tell me, what are the causes of our miseries finally? Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, right? So what these causes are is also indicated, is also taught by the Buddha, by the Tathagata, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. So in the end of this course, make it a point that we gain conviction. It's very true that all my problems, they are rooted to my own self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. This conviction must be built. You must be able to have this conviction in the end of this program, right? Okay. Then the question arises, if the causes are so well defined by the Buddha, then how can we possibly bring an end to these causes so the suffering, the miseries come to an end? The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seers. The cessation, bringing an end to the suffering, bringing an end to the causes of suffering, how to remove the self-grasping ignorance, how to eliminate the self-centered attitude is also taught by the great seer. Great seer here referring to the Buddha Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, so tell me, how can we bring the cessation of the self-grasping ignorance? By resorting to the wisdom of emptiness. Very good, you know that. And how can we bring an end to the self-centered attitude? By bodhicitta. Very good, you all know that. So knowing that, then as we recite this mantra, and because I'm not so good in Sanskrit, first of all, forget about not so or so, I don't know Sanskrit at all. So make it a point that you meet with some Sanskritists and try to correlate the English meanings with the Sanskrit mantra, right? Om Ye Dharma, generally speaking, in a very vague way, Om Ye Dharma, these phenomena, Hetu, causes, Prabhava means coming into being. These phenomena, they come into being by dependence on their causes. Hetum, these causes, Teshan Tathagata, Hyevatat means he said it. The Buddha, the Tathagata, indicated, or he said, as to what the causes of the miseries are, the phenomena are. Tesham Chayo, I'm not too sure about each of these words. Tesham Chayo, Nirodha. Nirodha is the cessation. Evam is thus. Vati is said by Mahashramana, the great seer. So, what the cessation of the cause of the suffering is also taught by the great seer. So, with that in mind, let's recite this mantra 7 times. 7 times in tune. Okay. Gade, Paragade, Parasamgade Bodhi Swadhyata Om Gade 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 Gade, Paragade, Parasamgade Bodhi Swadhyata. Okay, the end part. By the teaching of the 3 Supreme Jewels, possessing the power of the truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, May all negative forces opposed to Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from the problems and harmful conditions of Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay. Now we will do, what we'll do is that we will do what is known as the generating the consummate mind of enlightenment. Generating the consummate mind of enlightenment. In simple terms, we call it the Vajra and Moon practice. So some of you who have received empowerment from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you will know what this practice is. But then we can include this practice on a daily basis. That is very powerful practice. We see that that's going to be our main practice throughout our life. Okay. As a part of that, we will quickly, of course we don't have much time, so we will quickly meditate on the 4 seals. 4 seals. So basically this practice, the Vajra Moon practice, it is consisted of 3 parts. To cultivate renunciation, to cultivate bodhicitta, and to cultivate the wisdom of emptiness. Renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. 3. And as for cultivating renunciation, the practice of the four seals would be very helpful. Practice of 4 seals would be very helpful as a part of the cultivating renunciation. And the next one, for cultivating bodhicitta, the precursor to bodhicitta would be the 4 immeasurables. So since that, the actual process of bodhicitta meditation, we're going to learn later on. So here, we're going to do the 4 immeasurables after the 4 seals. Then for emptiness, it's going to be a very separate instruction. Okay, the first of the 4 seals. 4 seals too, there too, it depends on how you do. You can do it in a great detail, or you can do it in such a concise way. It's up to the individual. So what we're going to do now is going to be very quick. It's going to be very quick. Okay, just sit up properly. Sit properly. In any meditation that you might do, there are 2 things which are most important. One is body upright. That is so important. Body upright, and if possible, always try to make it a habit. When you sit, just see whether you can sit upright rather than sitting with bent back. Sit upright, and then for meditation, make it a point that unless you have back problems or back ache, see that you don't lean against a wall. This is so important. And then during your non-meditation, during your post-meditation, then should you feel like resting, still you don't, keep your back bent. You can lean against the wall, but keep your body upright, body erect. This is so important. So this will slowly become a part of your body gesture, the body position. And that way, it will help you maintain your mind so alert, so fresh, and so vivid. Okay. And number 2, eyes. Never close your eyes. Never close your eyes. I know some of you who already attended many other retreats, you are taught, close your eyes. Right? So, in this meditation, which is known as the meditation with the 7-fold Vajrayana posture, Buddha Vajrayana's posture, there the eyes should not be closed. Eyes should be open. And it is, if you have been doing your meditation with eyes closed, on the basis of the instructions given by other teachers, don't worry. At least with this kind of meditation, keep your eyes open. 1. Number 2, if you learn how to do the meditation with eyes closed, then you already know how to do the meditation with the eye closed. So you gain command over both the practice. So that later on, if somebody wants to learn the meditation with eyes closed, you can teach them. As someone else likes to learn how to do the meditation with eyes open, you can teach them. Whereas if you only know how to do it with eyes closed, then you can never forget about teaching others how to do the meditation with eyes closed, with eyes open. You cannot do the meditation with eyes open anymore in the future. This is very dangerous. So therefore, I would say that initially, whereas contrary to that, if you learn how to do the meditation with the eyes open, which is very difficult, if you learn that, then doing meditation with the eyes closed is so easy. Right? Okay, don't go for the easy part. Right? Okay, so that way, later on, when you gain command over the meditation with the eyes open, then later on, then you will come across situations where sometimes you have to do your meditation deliberately with eyes closed. The moment when you sleep, you sleep with the eyes open or with the eyes closed. 99% of the people sleep with eyes closed. If you sleep with the eyes open, you are not wish, you are a very special category. Right? You are a very special category. So why I'm saying this is that the moment when you close the eyes, your mind is automatically enveloped. And then, okay, just see. Look at the surrounding now with your eyes open, with your eyes closed and eyes open. Just feel the ambience, the light. Okay, now close the eyes and see the difference. Okay, tell me what is the difference? Huh?
You're lost in yourself when the eyes are closed.
Okay, this is one thing. Another? Sorry? Okay, image is one.
Mind becomes a little dull when
Exactly. The moment yes.
You see more others than self. When eyes closed, you can see yourself more inside. When eyes open, you see outside more than inside.
Okay, so that is what I meant by the challenge, right? And what Shanti pointed out, right? What Shanti pointed out, that is the thing. Okay, now I'm going to say this and we'll do the same experiment once more. What I'm saying is that, as Shanti pointed out, the moment you close your eyes, you see that a dullness sinks in. Immediately your mind becomes little, immediately there's a little bit of darkness comes to your mind. Darkness. And with this darkness, then your mind will keep on sinking. And then it will turn towards sleep. Right? Okay. Just see how true that is. Okay. Again with eyes open, just see how it is like.
Vajra, can I say something?
Yeah.
So far we've been taught that to keep the eyes 3/4 open, half open, and gaze at something just below you, so that you don't close your eyes. At the same time, you have a focus.
Okay, so this I'll do a little later. Okay, first, with your eyes open, just see what is the state of your mind like. How clear is your mind? Okay, now close your eyes for 5 seconds. What is the change? What is the change? Okay, now open your eyes, tell me.
The objects of engagement are lost when I close my eyes.
Okay. Object of engagement, you have actually not lost it, but then, the vividness disappears. Right? Okay, in other words, to make it very short, with your eyes closed is very dangerous. In other words, to make it very short, to start your meditation with the eyes closed is very dangerous. Because with the eyes closed, initially it's so easy, right? There's so much excitement, so much fun. Our daily life is with eyes open. The moment you close your eyes, then it's very different, and then you think that you are meditating. So this is just for very temporary. Then over a long period of time, what happens is that this meditation, initially with excitement, with eyes closed, it'll go up. The graph it'll go up. And then over time, it will go down. And then it will never go up. This is very dangerous. Very dangerous. So always try your meditation with eyes open. Right? And if you are already with eyes closed for the last 1 year, 2 years, few months is not problem. 1 year, 2 years, okay. You continue with that path and then also introduce meditation with eyes open. You do both. For those people who are already into this eyes closed meditation, meditation with eyes closed for the last more than 1 year, I would suggest you to continue with that. At the same time, introduce the meditation with eyes open. Whereas those people or who either doing the meditation for the first time or having done the meditation with the eyes closed, but less than 1 year, I would suggest you to start with eyes open. Okay. With eyes open, there's a challenge. As Subhashini pointed out, the challenge is that, and then what the gentleman over there said, that you will continue to see what is in front of you. And your eyes are not meditating. It is your mental consciousness which should be meditating. But your mental consciousness is engrossed, chasing after the eye consciousness. Right? But then slowly we will learn a skill whereby we can separate the mental consciousness from the eye consciousness. Okay, say someone say just close your eyes and then what do you call it? Scrap the other person's body, right? Or is it the girls, boys? Just scrap it with your eyes open, with closed eyes. Right? You could feel that? Huh? Two of you? Scrap? Huh? Okay. Or otherwise you scrap yourself. Right? Don't look at where you are scrapping, but scrap yourself. Okay. Just do it. With your right hand, scrap it. Okay, tell me. Did you feel something? You felt something, right? And your eyes were seeing that? Your eyes decided that something, you felt something? No. What decided that? Your mental consciousness decided that. So, without your eye consciousness, your mental consciousness can function. Now, look at the opposite side and scratch it. Look at the opposite side. Eyes not closed, eyes open. But look at the opposite side and scratch at the opposite side. Okay, tell me, did you feel something? Right. Your eyes are not looking at it. Your eyes are looking at something else. But you are, at this point, you have separated your mental consciousness and the eye consciousness. You're getting it? We have the ability to separate the mental consciousness and the eye consciousness. So while we are 45 degrees cast, our eyes are 45 degrees cast down, right? The text says that your eyes should be cast down at the tip of your nose, but don't do that. It will constrain your eyes. It will constrain your eyes. So what you do is that just keep your eyes 45 degrees cast down, half open, right? And then you will see everything there. But then your mind should not follow what your eyes are seeing. So your mind, what your mind sees, what your eyes sees should be separated. So that skill you will acquire eventually, provided you give an attempt from today onwards. If you don't give attempt, it will never happen. Your eyes are so powerful. And then with unnecessary things, with just unnecessary things, then what happens is that your mind is so powerful. Your mind can go away from the eye consciousness. For example, you are here in Consummate Center, listening to the teaching, and then suddenly there is music from behind. Your eye consciousness can follow the ear consciousness. And then you are not seeing anything in front of you. Right? And even the ear consciousness, you can separate the two. What you are hearing here in the class, you will not hear that. You will hear the music. Right? So this is the power that we have. Our mind has that power. Our mind has that power. So the only thing is that with the good things, it will not happen. It will say that no, my mind is always going after the eyes. So this is a big excuse by this, that we are being spoiled. Since time immemorial until now, we are being spoiled. So now we should make it a point that our mental consciousness, we gain some control over our mental consciousness, that it does not necessarily chase after the eye consciousness. Okay, just see this afternoon, just see whether you can do this, whether you can separate your eye consciousness and the mental consciousness. Right? You attempt this. You give an attempt. See whether you can separate eye consciousness and the mental consciousness. Right? So what I mean to say is that when your eyes are cast down, your mind should be on the image of the Buddha. Your mind should be on the breath. Your mind should be on the emptiness. Your mind should be on bodhicitta and so forth. Right? Your eyes may be on the table. It doesn't matter. Your mind should not follow what your eyes are seeing. So this is what I meant by separating the mental consciousness away from the sensory consciousness. Okay. Now, with that in mind, we will do the 4 seals. The 4 seals for the meditation: sit upright, cross-legged or not cross-legged is up to the individual. But at home, try to sit cross-legged. At home, try to sit cross-legged. Here is fine. And if you're doing it for the first time, it's a little painful. If you're doing that for the first time, it's a little painful. The moment you sense that the pain, you are feeling the pain, slowly you drop the legs and sit comfortably. Make sure that pain is not there. With pain, you are not meditating. You are meditating on the pain. So that is not your meditation, right? Okay, so cross-legged. Then the body should be upright. This is so important. Body should be upright, right? Just see. At the same time, the body should be flexible. It should be flexible, right? And then the head should be a little tilted forward, and the eyes 45 degrees cast down. Eyes 45 degrees cast down, eyes half open, 45 degrees cast down. Breathe very naturally, and the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate. So this is meant to avoid accumulation of excessive saliva in your mouth in the meditation. By touching the tip of the tongue to the upper palate, it will avoid excessive collection of saliva in the mouth, right? At times in the meditation, you tend to accumulate so much saliva in the mouth. So with this, with your tip of the tongue touching the upper palate, then saliva accumulation could happen, but it reduces the amount. Okay. Then the next point is right hand on your left hand, and the tips of the 2 thumbs touching, forming a triangle, and place the 2 hands on your laps in a restful state. Right? Okay. And then breathe very naturally. Okay. First, what we do is that we will do 21 cycles of breathing meditation. Which means the focal point is the one piece of grain size, one grain of rice, the size of 1 grain of rice in between your nose and the upper lip. So at that point, you should focus. That is the focal point. Next is multitasking. Meaning, as you focus your mind there, you should count your breath simultaneously. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1, breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2. So today we are going to do just 21 cycles. Then the multitasking, as I said earlier, breathe in. As you focus your mind there, simultaneously breathe in, breathe out. You count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 2. So here we are going to do 21 times. At home you can do say 5 minutes or 10 minutes. At the same time, emphasis must be on the quality of the meditation, not the quantity. You understand what I'm saying? At the same time, the emphasis must be on the quality of the meditation, not the quantity. Meaning that you are sitting with this meditative posture, and then your mind may be wandering here or there, and then people will see you as a great arhat, amazing, right? Oh, she sat in this position. She was meditating for 1 hour, 2 hours, right? He is meditating for 1 hour, 2 hours. In actuality, you are not meditating. You are destroying your meditation. Because either you do the meditation properly or don't do it. This is so important. This is the remark that I'm making. Either you do the meditation properly or don't do it. Why I'm saying this is that if you do the meditation, but totally unqualified, totally disrupted meditation, then it will build a very bad habit of meditation. The only hope for us to be freed from suffering is the meditation on the wisdom of emptiness and bodhicitta. So the meditation is the means by which will take you towards total freedom. And if this meditation becomes disrupted, it is like the medicine turning into poison. If the medicine turns into poison, then there is no medicine which can heal you. Because the only medicine that can potentially heal you, that has turned into poison. So likewise, the meditation must be done in a very proper way. Okay. At the same time, don't feel so intimidated when I give you these warnings. Don't feel so much intimidated when I give these warnings. The meditation, what does it mean by proper meditation? How should I do a meditation properly? Okay, it has 2 points. One is to know what is the improper meditation. And the next is how to remedy this improper meditation. Improper meditation is consisted of 2 errors of meditation. One is mental wandering, mental excitation. Other one is mental laxity, mental torpor, mental slackness, mental haziness, mental dullness, mental heaviness, torpor, right? So that is one extreme, and the other extreme is mental wandering, mental excitation. So these are the 2 errors of meditation. We have to avoid these two errors. Next point, what can remedy these 2 errors? Again, there are 2 remedies. One is introspection and the other one is mindfulness. Introspection and mindfulness. You getting it? Introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is like a spy, like espionage spy. Introspection is like spy. Say, if you have lost your dog, then you go to look for the spy's job is to look for what is happening where. Likewise, you look for our meditation. In our meditation, say you are to meditate on the breath, and then your mind has already started wandering in the shopping malls and wherever, right? So your mind is already wandering. So there, as your mind is wandering, then first we have to employ the first remedy. First remedy is introspection, which is like the spy. To just keep an eye on your own mind, to see whether your mind is still on the focal point, or the mind is already distracted, or the mind is in a slack state, in a lax state. Right? Just see that. That is the job of the introspection, which is like the spy. Once you know that, once you come to realize that your mind is already distracted, then the job is the executive's job. That is the mindfulness. Mindfulness is like the executives. So the mindfulness is also like the drawer. The moment you are looking for your dog, you are looking for your lost dog. Then finally you are able to track the dog. Then what will you do? Then you will tie the dog with a rope and bring the dog back home and tie it on the pillar there. You getting it? Likewise, the moment you find your mind wandering somewhere else or in a lax state, then the mindfulness should be used, which should be like the rope. You tie this mindfulness to your mind and pull it back to the intended object, the pillar like the focal point of your meditation. Tie it there, place it there. So this is the application of the mindfulness. So for the errors of the meditation, there are 2. What are they? Mental excitation and mental laxity. And the remedies, there are 2. What are they? Introspection and mindfulness. Okay. So these are the points that with these 2 remedies, then your meditation is going to be superb. It's going to be so good, right? It's going to be so good. Okay. Okay, the first gong is meant for us to start, and the next gong is to wind up the meditation. It's going to be just like a little over 1 minute. Reinforce the visualization of the merit field or the refuge field. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and particularly how you visualize them. Them as your mother, and you coming to them, being bullied by the elder students in the school, and then they with so much love, care, attention, They are just there to embrace you. And this is true. It's not just that our mind is simply fabricating it. It's very true that this is actually happening. This is how all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching at us. The next part, Bodhicitta field. You have two kind parents on the two sides. All your family members around you, and all dear mother sentient beings around you. And the manner in which you visualize them, you as the mother, and they're coming to you, crying, being bullied by others. And then so much of attention, love, care is being showered on the child, on each and every one of the sentient beings, to the extent that they themselves feel so comfortable, they themselves feel so special in your eyes. And the purpose of this practice, the four immeasurables, is to generate bodhicitta, to exterminate the demon of self-centered attitude. With that in mind, the first immeasurable loving kindness. Be in the present moment, follow the instructions, word to word, and see how much experience you can invoke. Loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Causes of happiness primarily consisting of bodhicitta, which cherishes others more than oneself, and the wisdom of emptiness, which sees everything as dreamlike, which sees everything as empty of objective existence. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, like the mother, the eldest child making commitment to the mother, saying, the mother, you have done everything for us. Now I'm already grown up. I will take care of all my siblings. Your mother, please take rest. Imagine how proud your mother will feel, how happy your mother will feel, tears rolling down her cheeks. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They feel so proud of you for making this commitment to take care of all the dear mother sentient beings. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they feel so proud of you, intensely happy, intensely proud of you. And this pride, the intensity of the pride and the happiness all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel towards you, invokes their compassionate, omniscient mind to send forth nectars and very soothing light towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of the light and the nectars with the bodies of beings in yours instills in all happinesses and the causes of happiness in the minds of all dear mother sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all the dear mother sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sound with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The causes of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you, and this pride and happiness that they feel towards you, that they feel, invokes their compassionate, omniscient minds to send forth nectars, very soothing light towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of the light and the nectars with the bodies and beings of yours frees the beings from all miseries and the cause of suffering. and you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all of dear Mother Sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they are endowed with. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you, and this pride and happiness invokes their compassionate minds to send forth nectar, a very soothing light, because you are all dear Mother Sentient beings. The mere touch of the light and the nectars with the bodies of beings yours stabilizes the happiness and the causes of happiness that the beings are endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all, dear Mother Sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. Buddhists and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you, and this pride and happiness invokes their compassionate, omniscient minds to send forth nectars, a very soothing light towards you and all dear Mother Sentient beings. Mere touch of the light and nectars with the bodies of beings of yours frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear Mother Sentient beings, leaving none aside. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all, dear Mother Sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Oh yeah, underscoring all these 4 immeasurables is the unconditional love that you have generated towards all dear Mother Sentient beings. Abide in this unconditional love for a while. Imagine you are looking at through the eyes of each and every dear Mother Sentient being, reassuring them that you are there to take care of all of them, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. Abide in this experience for a while. Okay, with that in mind, with folded hands, let me say a line of commitment to generate bodhicitta, to make what you have committed possible, what you have committed, the assurance that you have given to all dear Mother Sentient beings, assurance that you have given to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, to make it true, we are going to make one commitment of bodhicitta. With folded hands, we'll make the commitment. I'll say this line, and we'll all say this line 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Let's say this together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. This commitment is known as Bodhicitta. Abide in this experience for a while. High-level bodhisattvas and Buddhas, they are with this commitment, particularly the high-level bodhisattvas, they are with this commitment 24 hours, 24/7. So this is how we are following the footsteps of these great bodhisattvas, that trying to abide in the experience, trying to prolong this experience as much as possible day by day. Okay, this commitment that you've generated today, that you have made today, is known as Aspirational Bodhicitta. Slowly visualize that this Aspirational Bodhicitta, the commitment that we made today, transforms into a very beautiful, spotlessly clean white moon disk, horizontally sitting at your heart. Okay, it's amazing that you made such a commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. But how can you become Buddha? What guarantees that you can become Buddha? Yes, there is a Buddha nature. There is a hidden treasure of the Buddha nature within me that guarantees that I can become Buddha. But how can you make it? How can you make it manifest? How can you make it disclosed fully? That is temporarily obscured by mental defilements, which are rooted to the ignorance and the subtle stage. So this ignorance can be eliminated by the wisdom of emptiness. So I need to meditate on the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which you meditated on the emptiness of the self as a part of the 3rd seal of the 4 seals which we did earlier. Okay, think of yourself. Imagine, jump to the final conclusion. Imagine you are looking at yourself through the electron microscope, and you see that you end up seeing just billions of atoms. What are you seeing now? I'm seeing billions of atoms. Where is this person? Where is this self? Who is meditating? Oh, it's not there. She's not there. He's not there. She's empty. He's empty. Abide in this disappearance. Abide in this experience of the disappearance of this person, of this girl, or of this man. On this level, it is not that our mind is exaggerating, it is not that our mind is fabricating, but it's just a fact that on this level, this self does not exist. This self does not exist from the object side. It is 100% a fact. It is 100% true. It's not what our mind is fabricating. Okay, just abide in this experience of the disappearance of this person on that level, on the atomic level. This is known as the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness is sometimes loosely referred to as the ultimate bodhicitta. And the bodhicitta which we meditated earlier, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, that is referred to as the conventional bodhicitta. So now this wisdom of emptiness, the ultimate bodhicitta, imagine that it transforms into a spotlessly clean white Vajra, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon disk at your heart. Okay, so now with this moon disk, which is the conventional bodhicitta, that is the final panacea to heal all our self-centered attitude. And the Vajra, which is the wisdom of emptiness or the ultimate bodhicitta, this is the final panacea to heal all our afflictive obscurations. This guarantees, this set of the moon and Vajra guarantees that our Buddha nature will finally become manifest, finally become disclosed fully, that the demons of self-grasping ignorance, the demons of self-centered attitude will be eliminated altogether. And then that you become Buddha, like the sun, which illuminates in all 10 directions. Okay. So now this guarantees that you are going to become Buddha if you're able to practice this on a daily basis. So with so much of love and care and affection towards all of the other sentient beings who are around you, this love and care, this love and affection towards sentient beings, that invokes the 7 moon of Vajra that you have generated now to multiply infinite number of times. Imagine that it multiplies infinite number of times. And share them, one set with your mother, one set with your father, one set with each one of your brothers, sisters, your family members, with everyone here, with everyone in Bangalore, share with everyone, with people in India, people in your own country, people in the world, people in the entire universe. This is the greatest legacy. This is the greatest gift you can offer to all the dear Mother sentient beings. Today you managed to do that. And keep in mind that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching you. They feel extraordinarily proud of you today. That since time immemorial, since time beginninglessly, we just engaged in all unwholesome things. And today, for the first time, you have done such a great job, which all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel so proud. Like the mother, oftentimes hearing about the bad things about your child, and one day, every time there is complaint from the neighbors, from the school, from everywhere about the child, and for the first time, everyone was coming to give such a good news to your mother, saying that your child is the topper in the school. She is awarded the best girl in the school. He is awarded the best boy in the school. Imagine, for the first time, your mother feels such a relief, such a joy over hearing the good news that you have done so much good. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They feel so proud to see that for the first time, since time beginningless till now, you have done, for the first time, you are doing the greatest job that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas can ever expect. That you have generated as bodhicitta and wisdom emptiness, that you have shared this with all the dear Mother sentient beings. And you seeing that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching you, and you, along with all the dear Mother sentient beings, why don't we invite all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness to observing the aspirational Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva vow, the ceremony. So, as a part of the gesture, to invite all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness here, let's slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And imagining that you are leading this group and all sentient beings are joining you in making this prostration to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, let's slowly stand up and make 3 prostrations. Okay, now sit on your right knees. Those of you who have no problem with your knees or legs, backbone, then sit on your right knees. Whereas should you have any problem sitting on your right knees, then you can sit comfortably. Okay, sitting on your right knees. 8 Words of Mind Training, page 23. Page 23. Okay, what we do is that we will read third para, page 23, third para. We'll read this para 3 times. So that is to prepare ourselves to take this aspirational bodhisattva vow. To prepare ourselves for that. Okay. So since that this sitting on your right knees is going to be for a little while. So in between, if you feel painful, you can sit comfortably, right? Okay. Okay, the page 23, line para 3. So this is meant for you to prepare ourselves to take this journey towards Buddhahood. Taking a journey towards Buddhahood, we need to make the path, we need to clear the path of the obstacles. One. And then after making the path very clear, then you have to go in the car. If the car does not have fuel, it cannot go. Even though the road is very clear, but if the car without fuel, it cannot go. First clear the path, clear the path. After clearing the path, then you fill the car with the fuel. Likewise, our mind is the path, our mind is the car. So our mind has to be cleared of the obstacles, mental defilements, negative karmas and so forth. That is best done by confession. Then to fill the car of our mind with fuel, the fuel of merit. We need enough merit that we can follow this journey. So the best way by which to accumulate merit is by rejoicing in the virtues of others. So therefore, if you could read that, we will read it 3 times. In the wholeheartedly, just see that you are in the present moment and then invoke the experiences as much as possible as we read the lines. So we'll read this para together 3 times. Imagine all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you. They are witness, and all sentient beings, you are guiding them. You are leading them. You are leading this group, all sentient beings. With that in mind, let's say this 3 times. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. So when you say, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart, meaning, I will generate bodhicitta. I will become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. This is the meaning. Let us say this 3 times, 2 times more. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, now the next 2 stanzas are the main stanzas for us taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. So here, these 2 stanzas, we should know the meaning. I will give you the meaning in a gist form. So where you feel little uncomfortable, if you feel discomfort, make sure that you sit properly. The pain should not be there because the mind should be focused on what we are doing. Okay, with that in mind, there are 2 main points here for these 2 stanzas. One is taking the past Buddhas, meaning those who have already achieved Buddhahood, we are taking them as our inspirations. How? How they become Buddha? I want to become Buddha. They have already become Buddha. They are already Buddhas. How they became Buddha? One, initially they generated bodhicitta. They generated the commitment. They generated the commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, number 1. Then after generating this commitment, then they actually engaged in the bodhisattva deeds to actually become Buddhas. So 2 things made them what they are today. 1, this is part 1. Then the part 2 is that likewise, I will also generate, like them, I will also generate bodhicitta. I will also make the commitment that I'll become Buddha. 1. Then after making the commitment, I will also engage in the bodhisattva deeds to the best I can. Right? Okay. So there are 2 parts. One pertaining to the Buddhas, those who have already achieved Buddhahood. And then the second pertaining to the self. Self, seeing the Buddhas as the inspiration, and then you emulating these Buddhas in terms of the 2 things. Generating bodhicitta, engaging in the bodhisattva deeds. Okay, with that in mind, don't forget these 2 points. We should know where to focus. If you miss the focus, and then if you recite these 2 stanzas 100,000 times, the benefit may be too small. So with that in mind, let's recite these 2 stanzas together. Okay, so in fact there are 2 sets. The first set has 2 points. Second set has 2 points. Okay, with that in mind, let's read the 2 stanzas together, wholeheartedly feeling that way. And imagine all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas were there. And in fact, it's not just imagination. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are really there. They are really there. particularly all Buddhists are there 100%. Then for the Bodhisattvas, advanced level Bodhisattvas are all there. Right? The beginner level Bodhisattvas, they may not be there, but the advanced level Bodhisattvas, 100% they are there. Even if they are in America, even if they are in Tibet, even if they are in other world systems, they are with us today. 100%. But the beginner Bodhisattvas, they don't have that power to manifest themselves infinitely. Right? With that in mind, and then imagine that you are leading this group, and all sentient beings are with you. Your kind parents, if they are past, if they are already left the world, imagine they are still with you. Right? All your family members, all sentient beings around you. And particularly, should there be any difficult person, bring that person exceptionally, very closely by you. This is so important. Okay. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I take birth to Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successively follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I take birth to Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successively follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, do I give birth to Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, now with that in mind, imagine that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're exceptionally happy, they're so proud of what you have done today. Of course, this is the best gift, this is the best offering that you can make to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They are so proud of you today. So this pride and happiness all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel, invoke their compassion, invoke their set of the moon and Vajra, which they have in a full-fledged form. So invoke this set of the moon and Vajra to multiply infinite number of times. Then in Virajas, imagine, in Virajas they descend to merge with the one that you visualize at your heart. Okay, let us visualize that. This pride and happiness all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invokes the set of the moon and Vajra, which they have in the full-fledged form to multiply infinite number of times. Then in Virajas, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize at your heart, to merge with the one that you visualize at the heart of your mother, father, each one of your family members, everyone in Bangalore, everyone in India, everyone in your own country, everyone in the world, everyone in the entire universe. So this merging blesses, and it establishes, it stabilizes the one that you have generated at your heart and the one that you have shared with each and every dear mother sentient being. So this forms the observing aspirational bodhisattva vow. And this, if you could do on a daily basis, would be a sure warranty that each one of us will eventually be freed from these fears of samsara, reach the state of Buddhahood, and be the light for all dear mother sentient beings. And this is all happening because of the kindness of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking them, let us once more stand up, imagining that all sentient beings are joining you to make 3 prostrations as a gesture of thanking them. Let's slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So up to this point, we've finished taking the aspirational bodhisattva vow. And at the same time, so this thing which we did in this life today, in order to continue this in the next lives as well. Because that this is so precious. It is only with this kind of practice, that we can expect to achieve Buddhahood, to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, so in order that we don't forget this practice in the future lifetimes, we say this, we include this prayer. Page 24, third paragraph. Throughout the future lifetimes, may I always be guided by compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. The two precious bodhicittas meaning the Vajra and the moon. As per what are the two precious bodhicittas? Conventional bodhicitta and the ultimate bodhicitta, right? The moon and the Vajra. Let us say this 2 more times. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddhas and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Okay. Many times when we do such good things, compassionate act and so forth, then other people who have no clue of these practices, they take you as something wrong with you, right? You as someone who's weak, right? Who's not a strong person. This is totally wrong. It's a totally indication of the other person's, the other person's failing to appreciate, failing to encounter with this brilliant path. At the same time, we ourselves being very naive and very beginners, so therefore we can easily be dragged by other people, right? So many people who are on the verge to follow the good path, because of the family pressures, they slide down very easily. You have seen that? Many times it happens. So therefore, the good things, in order that we are persistent with these good things, we need to have the energy. And what gives us the energy to be persistent with these good things is to rejoice in what we have done. So that is not what I'm saying. That is said by the great Bodhisattva Shantideva. So we're going to read the following stanzas from the Bodhisattva Shantideva. As we read, we will see that, oh, this is very true, what is exactly said by Bodhisattva Shantideva, right? So there is, we are reading the following stanzas. Every time you see the pronoun it, it refers to the bodhicitta, right? With that in mind, make it a point that see how much you can invoke the experiences. That is more important. Okay, let's read from the second last para of stanza of page 24. In order to further increase it from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakening mind in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Awakening mind meaning bodhicitta. Awakening mind, bodhicitta same. Today, my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of a Buddha, and now I'm one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrade or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is a tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is a great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of the protectors, I invite the world to be guests as the festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. And then this part can be dedicated with a dedication prayer, and can be ended with the dedication prayer. So these 3 lines can be added. Stanzas can bear it. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance.